Hi friends, Liam here, and today I want to share with you 10 tips for staying positive during tough times. And I'd like to preface this by saying this is not about being on your bike, falling down, scraping your knee, and saying or pretending it doesn't hurt. This is about being on your bike, falling down, scraping your knee, and finding something that's more productive to focus on. All right, let's jump into it. Tip number 1, consciously focus on what you do have. You might have to force this at first. I know at darker times in my life where I've really had to struggle to find anything that was remotely good, but it's there. It's definitely there. No matter what your current situation is, you can always find something to be grateful for. All it takes is a shift of perspective and focus. Because you're in a dark place and you're not feeling good, it's really difficult for you to see the light because you're so far down. You know, it's like being in the ocean. I don't know if you've ever gone diving, but if you ever go into the ocean, the deeper you go, the darker it gets because the sunlight isn't able to penetrate as much. Well, this is a similar thing. We're sinking down, right? When we're not feeling well, we're sinking down and we're in this dark place. And it's so far away, it's so far removed from the light and bright world that's above the waters, it's above the murk, that we can't see it. Well, what we can do is not try and see all the way to the light, because you're not going to get there, right? If you're 100 feet, you're 30 meters down underwater, you're not going to be able to reach the light from there, and it's dangerous to even try and do so if you are diving. But what you can do is you can say, all right, I'm going to try and get the next best feeling thought. And so what you're really doing is you're saying it's different grades. You know, like the whole 50 shades of gray. We're looking at different shades of dark. And where you're at might be really, really dark, but a bit above you, it's a little bit lighter. It's still dark, but it's a little bit lighter. And so let's move there. We're going to take a step there and we're going to get to that place. And then guess what? We're going to repeat the process. And you'll find over time, by forcing it, that you're able to move slowly but surely. Again, you have to put in the time and effort, and you have to really feel it. You can't just let it be a mental exercise that says, oh, I'm grateful for my health. Check. I got to write 5 things. So health 1. I guess I've got family, so family 2. I'm not dead, so there's 3. That's BS. That's not going to get you anywhere, and you're not going to feel much better because of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, you could be in a place where you're dealing with some serious issues in your life, but you've got to you've got to really check in and feel those feelings of some sort of positivity. Maybe that's you going to get an ice cream, or having a beverage of choice, or being warm on a cold day, or watching a comfortable movie or a fun movie that you really love, and you let yourself get caught up in that. And what you want to do when you're caught up in that is that you make a huge effort to extend that good feeling. So sometimes what I'll do when I'm eating something that's delicious is that I will really savor it. Instead of having one bite every 3 seconds, I'll have one bite every 30 seconds. Now I know that might sound extreme, but when you really savor it and you make that feeling go on as long as you possibly can, guess what you're doing? You're increasing your buoyancy. You're raising yourself up out of that murk little bit by little bit. And guess what? When you move up a little bit, it's easier to find the next thing. And then you move up again and it's easier to find the next thing. And you create a positive chain reaction. And you help get yourself out of that cycle of despair. And so that's what I really recommend. Force it, but make an effort every day to do something that brings you a bit of joy. Make an effort every day to recognize that joy, to extend it as much as you can, and then repeat. And over time, you'll find that things will tend to get better. It might be a slow process. It might be a 100-step process for you, but be okay with that because it means you're making progress. As the saying goes, don't be afraid of going slow. Be afraid of not moving at all. All right, number 2, get active. Studies have shown, science has shown that exercising helps release the dopamine chemical in our brain which brings us feelings of joy and elation. Well, that's an easy remedy. It's something that you need to do anyway. Chances are, if you're not feeling well, you're probably not moving. You're probably not active. So get after it. Get out there. Do a push-up. Do a sit-up. Go for a 10-minute walk. Wherever you're at, start. And like I've talked about in other videos, use micro goals. Use micro increments so that you can make the goal so small, so easy to do, that no matter what your current situation is, you can't come up with a reasonable excuse if you said that this is important to you and it's a priority to you to not do it. So I wasn't joking when I said do one push-up. I wasn't joking when I said do one sit-up, or when I said go for a walk for 1 minute. Start somewhere, build from there, be consistent, make it enough that you can continue. Okay. Point number 3, help others. I know that when we're feeling down, the last thing we think of or that we'd want to do is go out and help other people. You think to yourself, hey, I'm in a difficult situation. I need other people to help me. And I totally get where you're coming from and why you would feel that way. But let me take you on a little bit of a different perspective. And that is, why do we feel so down? Where is our focus? Our focus is on ourselves, right? That's why we're feeling down. We're focused about everything that's wrong with our life, everything that's not going well for us, typically, right? And so what you're wanting to do is to shift that focus. And it doesn't need to be much. All you need to do is move that focus away from yourself and onto other people, and so that you can work to try and help them, right? And then by helping those people, you'll see, oh, all right, well, I have this going for me, I have that going for me, and do it in a genuine way, and you can find multitudes of ways to helping people. If you don't want to go out and volunteer physically at a food bank or, these types of places, people have questions online, right? Help them answer some of their questions, whether it's on Quora or some of these other websites. Do something that you can do to help other people and shift the focus away from yourself. All right, tip number 4 is to do something productive and make a big effort to praise yourself. So whether that's cleaning your home, making your bed, brushing your teeth, whatever that is, having a shower, all of those sorts of things, when you're really not feeling well, sometimes those things can go by the wayside, I know. But make an effort to be productive and do something that you can be a little bit proud of, and make sure to praise yourself. I would say overly praise yourself for the progress that you've made. You got to remember, in the scheme of things, that you're down in the murk. You're in negativity, right? And so everything that you can do to help increase your buoyancy and help get you to a lighter place, that's what you need to do. Now, when you get out of the murk and you're in a positive mental state, that's more of a time to say, be a little bit more, hold yourself a bit more accountable and say, okay, look, you really should be doing this, you really should be doing that. Why aren't you doing this, right? You can be a little bit harsher on yourself then, but when you're going through really tough times, you need the love and kindness that you can provide for yourself. Tip number 5 is to create a power routine and stick with it. What do I mean by power routine? Power routine is something that you're going to do every single day, day in, day out, and it's going to help elevate your game. It's going to help make your life that much better. So what might that look like? A little bit of exercise. You can start small and set your base routine. Again, 1 push-up, 1 set-up, 1 minute of walking. Make it so small that you can't not do it, right? So start small, progress up from there, but make a routine and stick with that routine. Why? This is something that I personally found in my life when I was stuck and I didn't know what to do. I started with exercise. Why? Because it's something that I can control. I can control what time I wake up, I can control what time I go to bed, and I can control if I go to exercise or not. So when I went to exercise, that helped me create momentum in my life. And that momentum, little bit by little bit, starts to wear off into other areas of your life, and then you're able to make more concerted progress. So if you don't know where to start, my recommendation is start with something small that you can control, like exercise, like breathing, like drinking enough water, like doing breathing exercises. I said it twice, it's that important. All right, number 6, go easy on yourself. Be kind to yourself. This is a tough time. You're struggling right now. So give yourself a little bit more love and kindness than you might normally do. This might sound a little bit too touchy-feely, but don't be harsh on yourself. I know that we can have a lot of negative thoughts, and sometimes we say things to ourselves that we would never say to someone else. Well, I think that's a good rule to go by. If you wouldn't say it to a kindly stranger, why would you say it to yourself, right? Be kind to yourself, be gentle with yourself, love yourself. You need it now more than ever, and it's okay. All right, tip number 7, spend more time in nature. Doctors in, I believe it was Scotland, are now approved to prescribe time in nature to patients that are suffering from depression and anxiety. That's a great lesson right there. When you're not feeling well, spend time in nature. Go for walks in nature. Go to a park. Go to a national park. Go to a state park. Find a beautiful place that you can enjoy and notice the trees. Notice the leaves. Notice the flowers. Notice the flowing water. Notice the birds chirping. These are all positive things that help you get back in touch with nature. But not only that, it's helping you shift your focus from woe is me, these are all of the troubles of my life, to these are all of the wonderful things that I have around. It's an easy thing to do. Please give it a try. Tip number 8, talk with loved ones or people that you're close with, and you can share what you're going through. Don't try and deal with it all by yourself. Don't keep it bottled up. Don't feel like I'm the only person who's ever gone through difficult times in their life and I'm weak or I'm pathetic if I can't deal with this myself. No, like I was just saying, let's be kind to ourselves, be gentle and loving with ourselves, and talking with people, whether it's your parents, whether it's a sibling, whether it's your best friend, whoever it may be, if they really care about you, they're going to be happy that you're reaching out to them, that they're going, don't overuse it by any means, but talking with them a couple times I think is totally reasonable, and being upfront and saying, look, I'm going through a difficult time right now. Would you be available to help me, or would you be available to talk through some things with me? And I think 9 out of your 10 friends should say yes to that, or your parents. And again, if it's not your parents, if it's not a sibling, let it be your friends. Vice versa as well. If you don't have a friend that you can talk about with that you feel comfortable, talk with a family member. Know that you have resources very close by that care and love about you deeply, and don't be afraid to extend and show that vulnerability, show that weakness to them, because they're happy to help you. They want the best for you. They love and care about you, and so they're more likely than not will have noticed that you're not 100%, and so you opening up and sharing what you're going through, it's like giving them a little gift as well. And so I highly recommend, when you're going through a difficult time like that, open up a bit and talk through what you're going through. And if you need a ton of help, maybe therapy is a good option as well. Tip number 9, meditate. Meditation is a great way for us to help separate our thoughts, our ego, from who we are. And by focusing in on our breath, we can change that perspective again and move away from those harmful thoughts. Why do we feel bad? It's because our focus is on things that are negative and are things that we do not perceive to be positive, right? Where our focus is there, so our thoughts go there, and we think about all of the different things that aren't going well for us or that we don't like about our current situation. What happens next? Our feelings go there, because our attention and focus, our thoughts, next our feelings go there, and we feel rotten, we feel down, and those are not great things to feel, right? We don't want to be there. And so meditating helps us move away from those feelings, move away from those thoughts, and recenter ourselves and change our focus to be on things that's very neutral in nature, like one's breath. There is no positive, there is no negative associated with one's breath, right? If you want to think about positive things as well while you're meditating, do it. There's no set rule book by how you have to do things, but the point is, change your focus, change your perspective, give yourself a little bit of an emotional break. Meditation can do that for you. I would recommend to start even from 1 minute a day. Just try that. If you can get to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, don't worry about it. It's okay. Start somewhere, build up from there. My last tip, tip number 10, is challenge yourself. And you might be saying, Liam, I'm going through a tough time right now. I've got enough challenges as it is. I don't need another challenge. Well, yes, you do. Why do you need a challenge? Challenging yourself does a couple things. One, you're recognizing your innate ability to achieve and perform and overcome. So you're recognizing that you can do it. And I think that's really important. You need to recognize that I can overcome this. This too shall pass. So by challenging yourself, you're saying to your subconscious, I'm bigger than the problems that I'm facing right now. What's that going to do? Give yourself a small challenge and achieve it. Help yourself regain or build up your self-confidence. Get some momentum moving in your life. That's what you need to do. When you are in this state of inertia because of all of the negativity that's going on and you're hunkered down, right? You're not moving. So you need to get that positive momentum and movement back in your life. Setting small challenges for yourself, doing them, and then raising the bar is a great way to do that. All right, that's everything that I wanted to talk to you about today. I wanted to throw in one extra bonus tip, and that is notice your physiology. Notice your posture. Notice how your body is and how you're feeling and how you're acting. People that are negative, are you looking up or are you looking down? Which one do you associate more with feeling negative, right? It's looking down, right? Are we open and expansive or are we closed, right? Again, closed. Are we standing tall or are we standing short? Is our voice small and uncertain or is it large? Is it confident, right? Are we projecting that confidence that we have? So there's a lot of interesting things with your physiology that you can also fix. So what do? If you're closed, open up. If you're not speaking very loudly, raise your volume a bit. If your gaze is down, look up. It's amazing what the science has proven that by changing your physiology, you can change your mindset. I'll put a link in the video description to a very great talk on this at TED. All right, well, I hope you enjoyed the video today. I'd love to hear from you. What was your number one tip from the 10 tips that I gave? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 through 10. What was your number one tip that you're going to try when you're not feeling well now or in the future? Please comment below and let me know what you found to be of value. If you've gotten anything out of this video, I'd really appreciate it if you could press the subscribe and notification buttons. That way that you can get more of my future content and I know that you enjoyed this video. So thank you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. God bless.